And he has proven to me so many ways that this is real, that some amazing things happen. In fact, a couple of crazy stories. I'm in my living room having a Bible study with a young man. His mother asked me to talk to him because he was thinking about suicide. He's from a family very well off. He has a good job and a college degree, but he quit his job and he's thinking about committing suicide. And she said, I know it's a spiritual warfare problem. Would you talk to him? And so, you know, I had a couple of studies with him, and I thought he was making great progress. And in the middle of another study in my living room, just me and him, he just stands up and he pours his water on my floor, and he throws his empty glass at my TV. And I was shocked, and I stood up and I said, Sam, that's just not appropriate. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And his voice changed. I can't imitate it, but it was a deep kind of a growl, and he said, I'm not going anywhere. And he came at me, and he wrapped his arms around me, and he started squeezing. And he was a guy about the same size as me. Wasn't a big guy, but it was hurting. And his face was right in front of me like this. All I could think to say was, in Jesus' name, get back. Amen. And he jumped backwards like somebody pulled him off of me. And he turned around and walked off, and I thought he was leaving. He passed up the back door and went right to the kitchen sink. So I'm 3 steps from him. He starts picking up pots and pans and throwing at me just as hard and fast, and forks and knives and spoons and plates. And I'm watching the stuff come, and nothing ever hit me. I don't know how you can miss from 2 steps away, but nothing hit me. And I realized for the first time in my life I was going to have to call 911. So I picked up my phone, and I'm walking out, and stuff is literally flying by my head as I'm dialing 911, and nothing ever touched me. And I got out on the front porch, and they answered, and I said, you know, here's my address, and asked them to please come. And I started hearing crash. He was throwing my furniture through the windows of my house. He flipped a baby grand piano by himself. Took 7 of us to set it up. By the way, no drugs in his system. He was tested for drugs.
This was a Bible study.
Bible study.
Okay.
So there's 6 big double-pane windows that are 3 by 7 and a French door, and I mean glass is everywhere. And you know, I walked back in. I mean, you couldn't step anywhere. It's crunch, crunch, glasses on everything. The windows are all broken. The furniture's all turned upside down, and it's really quite a mess. I had to call my wife, and I said, honey, the house doesn't look exactly like it did when you left for school this morning. Only took us a year and a half to pick out windows and a new couch and stuff. She's kind of slow on making decisions. But by the time the policeman got there, which was only 4 minutes, he had done $42,000 in damage.
We have a 1-minute video to show.
So the policeman comes in, and he sees this mess, and he says, what were y'all doing today? And I said, Bible study. And he said, a Bible study? I never saw a Bible study end like this. And I said, well, I teach spiritual warfare, so it sort of makes sense to me. Let me give you a free book, and let me give you some stakes. And I explained all that to him. So, yeah, it was quite a mess. Ended up the mantle fell off. It was broken. I had to replace that, and there's the piano upside down. It was a mess. And so the policeman left, and by the way, the guy wrote me a check from his trust fund for the damage. The piano was ruined. It ruined the soundboard, and everything had to be repainted. The furniture was ruined, scratched up, and glass was on everything. All the windows had to be replaced. They boarded it up. We didn't know if it was raining or sunshining for a month. But anyway, they replaced everything. They just wrote me a check for $42,500. I didn't even have to file an insurance claim. But about 6 weeks after this happened, there was a knock on the front door after our small group Bible study on Sunday night. And I looked, and there was a police car. And I said, oh, my goodness. So I went over and opened the door, and it's the same policeman. He's standing there holding my book. And I said, hey, come on in. How you doing? He said, I'm fine. I can't stay. I just wanted to tell you that when I came to your house that day, you said something that changed my life. And he said, well, I saw the mess your house was in, and I said, do you want to press charges? And you said, no. You said you knew the family and wanted to give them a chance to make it right. And he said, I never heard of that. He said, I'm a believer in Jesus, but I wasn't going to church, and I wasn't living right. And I want you to know I'm back in church, and I got my life right with the Lord. And also, I'm on the SWAT team. Can I have books and stakes for the SWAT team? So I said, how many's on the SWAT team? 24. So we went and got 24 books and 24 sets of stakes, and I prayed with him. He was crying when he left. And